Hello and welcome back to Instant Seekh. मेरा नाम है कृष्णा काहर. In this video we will be starting with our UGC NET Computer Science PYQ series. आज के इस वीडियो में हम देखेंगे UGC NET December 2024 में हुए Computer Science Paper 2 के solutions starting from question number 1 to question number 100. With regards to your UGC NET preparation, previous year solutions question paper solving is very much important. Okay, so you need to go through the previous year question papers to get a gist of what kind of question you can expect in your UGC NET exam. Okay, so without any delay, let's get started. Do join our Telegram channel. PYQs की जितने भी detailed solution PDF with explanations in PDF form are available on our Telegram channel, and also the test series are available as well. Okay, so do join the Telegram channel. Let's start with the first question. What is the first question? Consider the following conditional statements if m equal to 20 minus 10, logical or operator n greater than 10. The order of execution of the following operation is what? Okay, meaning here what will be the order of execution? Okay, what basically the question is from operator precedence. Based on the operator precedence, priority, the expression will be evaluated. Okay, जैसा हमारा बॉड मास होता है मैथ्स के एक्सप्रेशंस के लिए, राइट, हम इवैल्यूएट करते हैं बॉड मास रूल यूज करके. सिमिलरली फॉर स्टेटमेंट्स इन प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस, operator precedence is used if the multiple operators are involved in a statement or expression. Okay, so considering the options, what we have: A equal to B minus C, logical or operator, and D is greater than sign. Okay, let's write the expression first. M equal to 20, okay, minus 10, or logical or n greater than 10. Okay, so from this the highest operator precedence is of subtraction. First we will be doing subtraction. Okay, after that we will be doing greater than sign, after that equal to sign, equality sign, and lastly is the logical or operator. Okay, so minus is what? Option B. Greater than is what? D. Equality is A, and logical or is C. Okay, so let's see which option matches this. Okay, so your option C matches this particular pattern. Okay, so your order of execution for the following operation will be B, D, A, C. That is your option number C. So your answer is answer C. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, question number 2. The characteristics of modern programming are: each module should do only one thing. Communication between module is allowed only by calling a module. Next, communication can take place. Okay, let me just go through which one are the right. Each module should do only one thing. Okay, so this is right. This is one of the characteristic. Communication between module is allowed only by calling a module. This is also right. Communication can take place directly between modules that do not have calling or called relationship. This is false, not true, not the characteristics of modern programming. All modules are designed as single entry, single exit system using control structures. Okay, so this is also right. So your option A, B, and D is right. Okay, A, B, and D. So your option number from the options, option B is right answer. Okay, option B is your right answer. Okay, see, so options, the line C, communication can take place directly between two modules that do not have a calling and called relationship, is false. Okay, that's why your option A, B, D are right, and your option B is your right answer. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, next we have CFGs. Okay, normal form questions. Okay, which of the following CFGs are in Chomsky normal form? Okay, CNF. All capital letters are variables and lower case are terminals. Remember this. Okay, all capital letters are what? Let's say A, B, C are what? Variables. We term it as variables, and small letters, say suppose A, B is there, then those are terminals. Okay, in normal form. Okay, let's see one by one what it states. Okay, what it is asking, which of the following CFG is in CNF form? Okay, Chomsky normal form. So the first rule, that is A should go for A, B, C are variables. The first rule that states is we should have a valid, okay, CFG to be in CNF. Okay, so first let's see the first option. What it is saying, S to ABC, okay, where A implies small a, okay, B to B variable to B terminal, and C to D. Okay, so this is basically all AB variables are allowed. Okay, variables are valid, and all terminals are also valid. Okay, all terminals, lowercase terminals, are also valid. Okay, so your option A is in CNF. Okay, let's see the next. X tends to RT and TR. Okay, so T, your variable, tends to terminals small t, and R implies to, if you see here, xt is a variable pair. Okay, xt is a variable pair, and R is terminal. Okay, so this is also valid. A and B are valid option. Let's see the C1. P is a variable. Okay, now you have terminal followed by a variable, which is not in CNF, not allowed in CNF. Again, if you see Q have R to S, these are terminals. This is valid, but since your P statement is rule is not valid, so this is not in CNF. Next, M to Mn. Okay, N implies to variable pairs. Okay, there n variable have two variables, n and m. Okay, so not allowed in CNF, two variables, sorry, two terminals are not allowed. Okay, so this is wrong, and it is invalid. Okay, P tends to P is invalid in CNF, so this is also wrong. So what are the right options? A and B. Okay, so your correct answer will be your answer, that is option number A, that is A and B options are only in CNF form. Okay, so your answer is A. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now with respect to memory speed, this is arrange the following in the increasing order with respect to access time. Do not hurry during your examinations. Always remember, when it is asking, check to which metric, with respect to which metric it is asking us to arrange the sequence. Here it is with respect to matrix, that is access time. Okay, so we have solid state drives. Option A, solid state drives, optical disk, DRAMs, SRAMs, and register. Okay, so when with regards to access time, your registers will come first, that is your option E. Then comes your SRAMs, that is your option D. Then comes your DRAMs, that is your option C. Then comes your solid state drive, that is A. And at last we have optical disk, the slowest one. Okay, so registers are the fastest. Static SRAMs, okay, static D1. Static RAMs are what? Faster than DRAMs. Okay, then we have DRAMs, then we have solid state drives, and the slowest is the optical disk. Okay, so the correct increasing order with respect to access time is EDCAB. Okay, so let's find the option. Your option D is the right answer. Okay, your option D is the right answer, that is registers, then static RAM, then DRAM, solid state drive, and then optical disk. Okay, so your answer D is your right answer. Next. Okay, which of the following is not a divide and conquer method? When with regards to data structures, you need to remember the methods as well as the respective sorting algorithms. Okay, so which of the following method is not a divide and conquer method? Straight away you can check for heap sort. Okay, your heap sort is not a divide or conquer technique. Basically, what is divide and conquer technique? A problem is broken into smaller sub problems, and individually these sub problems are solved. Okay, again they are combined to the solution of the original problem. Okay, meaning what? We will be having one large problem, then we will be breaking that into a small individual problems. Okay, this will be solved. Okay, and then the solution will be combined. Okay, so this is what divide and conquer method. Okay, in this we have merge sort that works on divide conquer technique. Heap sort is the not the divide and conquer technique. Merge sort is used, quick sort is used, binary search we also use divide and conquer method. Okay, so it is asking which is not a divide and conquer method. So your heap sort is not a divide and conquer method. Okay, so your right answer to this particular question will be option D, that is heap sort. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, next you have is which of the following is the solution of the following recurrence relation Tn equal to T 2n by 3 plus 1. Okay, basically it is asking for the recurrence solution. So let's check first. To solve this, we should use the master theorem for divide and conquer. Okay, what does the master theorem say? T of n is equal to At n by b, okay, and plus f of n. Okay, now from this, in our case, we can see what is a value here? 1. Okay, if you compare this equation with our given recurrence relation, okay, a is 1. What is b? Okay, what is b given here? 2 by 3, 3 by 2. Okay, how to 3 by 2? See here n by b is given. Okay, if we correlate, okay, then it will become 3 by 2. Okay, and lastly, what f of n is? F of n is, okay, let me write this, 1. Okay, so you have this details. Now using the master theorem, if we compare f of n with sorry for this, n raised to log b base b f of a, okay, then we will be having, okay, T of n equal to theta log n. If we compare this equation, we will be getting our T of n equal to theta log n. Okay, so if we match, which of the option is right? Option B is the right answer, that is theta log n. Okay, so solution for this following recurrence relation will be theta log n. That is your option number B. Answer B will be the right answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, now this is from DBMS. You should know this, very basic. Insert command is used to do what? Add a single tuple to a relation, add multiple tuples to a relation, add values to specific attributes, insert new table. Okay, let's use the elimination trick. First of all, insert command is not used to insert a new table. That is wrong. Add specific values to attribute. Yes, this is right. Add multiple tables. Okay, you should know using insert command we can add multiple records or multiple tuples as well. Okay, so this option is also right. Add a single tuple. Okay, this is the basic feature of insert command. Okay, we are inserting a single record. Okay, so your option A, B and C are right options. Okay, so your answer is option number C, that is A, B and C are the right options, answers to this particular question. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, now next is networking question. We have the network. Okay, let me read it out. The network using CSMA CD has a bandwidth of 20 Mbps if the maximum propagation time is 25 microsecond. What is the minimum size of the frame? Okay, here we are asked about the size of the frame. Okay, so let's first of all solve this. To calculate the minimum size of the frame, first let's have the formula. Formula is S is the minimum frame size of the frame equal to 2 into B, that is the bandwidth, into T, that is the time. Okay, so 2 into what is the bandwidth we have? What is the bandwidth? Okay, 20 Mbps. Okay, 20 Mbps. Okay, conversion is pending. Okay, you don't directly multiply it. And then we have 25. What is the propagation time? 25 microseconds. Okay, we will be writing that as well. Okay, now converting 1 Mbps to 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to minus 6, and 1 Mbps, 1 Mbps equal to 10 raised to 6 bits per second. Okay, I'm writing like this, bits per second, and 1 microsecond is equal to 10 raised to minus 6 seconds. Okay, so this is the comparison ratio. Let's put everything in the equation. So your S will be equal to 2 into 20 into, okay, what is the Mbps conversion? 10 raised to 6. Okay, then into 25 microseconds. Okay, what is the conversion ratio? 1 microsecond equal to 10 raised to minus 6. Okay, 10 raised to minus 6, 10 raised to minus 6, I can write it like this, 10 raised to 6. Okay, sorry for this, 10 raised to 6. Okay, these gets cancelled out. So what we have is, what remains is 2 into 20 into 25. Okay, 25 twos are 50, 50 into 20. Okay, that will give us 1000 bits. 1000 bits. Okay, so your right answer, sorry, okay, sorry for this. Okay, so your right answer for this particular question will be, okay, just give me a second. Okay, so your right answer will be option number B, that is 1000 bits. Okay, so your size of the frame will be 1000 bits. Option B will be your right answer. Answer B. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, if you're not able to see it, let me dictate. The mathematical notation to describe logical entailment of a sentence, alpha entails another sentence, beta is what? Okay, so it is asking what will be the mathematical notation to symbolize the logical entailment. Okay, so logical entailment is different from material implication. First of all, the symbol is used in mathematical logic to denote logical entailment. So in this case, your first option, okay, alpha entails another sentence of beta. Okay, your B phrase, this will be your right answer. Okay, your option number A will be your right answer, that is alpha alphonse to capital B. Okay, so your answer, right answer will be answer A. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now what it states, software testability is simply how easily a software program can be tested. Which of the following characteristics does not lead to testable software? Okay, basically it is asking from the following, okay, whichever one of the characteristics does not lead to a testable software. Okay, if we follow that characteristics. Okay, option givers are observability, okay, controllability, replayability, and understandability. Okay, so during testing, consider the metric given here is what lead to a testable software. Okay, So your observability is very important. First option is important because it states you what it states you ensures the internal state of the software is observed through the outputs. Okay, so observability is a proper characteristics. Controllability, it ensures the software can be easily controlled by providing input and test conditions. So this is also a valid characteristics. D, understandability. These characteristics ensure that the software design and implementation are easy to understand and follow. Okay, so this is also right. Repairability is directly not leads to testable software. Okay, so your answer for this particular question will be which characteristics does not lead to testable software is option C. Okay, option C, repairability does not lead to testable software. Okay, so answer C is your right answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Okay, next we have is question number 11. Match list 1 with list 2. Okay, list 1 is given, okay, a binary number, complements, parity, variable length instruction, error detection code, says negative number, and this. Okay, so out of this you should know at least minimum 2. Okay, we know from sys we know variable instruction length is used for sys. Okay, so this option goes for D. Okay, 2 goes for D. Now let's use the elimination trick here. Okay, D goes for second. Okay, means C and D are wrong. C and D are wrong. One more thing, parity. We check parity for error detection code. Okay, so first is C. So from this option, you can eliminate this one, and your right answer, your option is option number B. Okay, let me tell you, parity, error detection code, variable in length instruction goes is a characteristics of sys, that is complex instruction of coding. B, complements is used for what? Used for representing negative numbers. Okay, so this will be B, and this will be first A, conversion to hexadecimal. Okay, so if you see, A will be belongs to 4, B to 3, C to 1, and D to 4, which is your option number B here. So correct answer is answer B. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, again matching the list. For this particular December 2024 paper, you have many lots of matching the list questions. Okay, so let's move on with this one. Question number 12, decision tree. We have supervised learning, artificial neural network, instance based learning. Okay, so decisions tree is linked with always, at least, as I said, you should know at least minimum 2, right? And starting with the last option, instance based learning. Okay, instance based learning relates to self organizing map. Okay, so second one goes to D. Okay, so here itself you can see from this option C has second, that is D goes to second. So this is the option. Let's go through every match of the list. Decision tree is linked with C 4.5 algorithm, which is a well-known algorithm to generate a decision tree. Okay, so this has the option A. Next, supervised learning. It can be associated with non-linear regression algorithm. Okay, as it involves what? Label-based data to predict the outcomes. Okay, so this goes with option number B. Next, artificial neural network. This is associated or connected to delta learning rule, which is used to adjust what? Which is used to adjust the weight in the network. Okay, so this goes for C. So your option A has what? 3, B has 4, C 2, C 1, and D 2. So your correct answer is option number C. Option number C. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Yeah, again match the list question is there. Okay, we have given logical equivalence propositions this time. Okay, a little bit more to solve, right? So first what we have is P proposition equals to then to Q. Okay, it is what? It is logically equivalent. If we see this, this is logically equivalent to this option number 2, that is negation of P or Q. Okay, so once you get this, you get if once any of one of the option, try to eliminate the other options. Okay, if A is associated to 2, then these first two options are wrong. Okay, now let's check the another easiest one you can do. Let's see this one. C option, P implies Q. Okay, so it is logically equivalent to, this is logically equivalent to your first one, as you have gone through in your prepositions chapter. Okay, that is P and Q, or negation of P or negation of Q. Okay, so this go for C. So let's check from these two options. C is implying to first one is this option, and this is wrong. Okay, so C is your correct option. Let's go one by one. P then Q is your second option. B is your third option. Okay, this is your B, that is negation of P or Q. And C is your first option, that is P or P and Q, or negation of P or negation of Q. And last one, D, last one, that is D is equivalent to, that is your fourth one. Thus, negation of P implies to Q. Okay, so your correct option is option number C, A to 2, B to 3, C to first, and D to fourth. Okay, so answer is answer C. Let's move to the next question. Okay, next we have LPP question. A linear programming problem given as below. Minimization is given as minimize Z equal to 30x minus 18y, subject to constraint. What are the constraint? 3x plus 4y less than equal to 60, 5x minus 3y greater than equal to 20, and where x and y are greater than 0. In this feasible region, find the solution of the LPP. The solution of the LPP are given as below, and from this we need to check which of them are the actual solution, or you can say the correct solutions. So first of all, you, for point A, basically for each point we will just substitute the values and check it. Okay, so if we say first one, that is 4 comma 0, let's put it in the equation. What are our equation? Let me write it down. 3x plus 4y is less than equal to 60. Okay, so and x second equation is 5x minus 3y is greater than equal to 20. Okay, so we will just put on the values. First is x is 4, so this becomes x is 4 for the first option, 4 comma 0, and this is 0, so this becomes 12. So first option, first point is valid. Next we have 2 comma 0 here, and let's see the next equation as well. 4 5 are 20 minus this is 0. Okay, so this is also valid for 4 comma 0. Okay, so first point is valid. Next 2 comma 0, since 4 comma 0, see, you need to think logically. If 4 comma 0 was valid, 2 comma 0 will also be valid. Okay, because the value is less. Okay, so these two are the right, so far right options. Okay, sorry, 2 comma 0 we need to check because it is in the y equation. Okay, so let's check in that. If we say 2 years and 0 year, okay, so it should be greater than equal to 20, and this is coming 10. Okay, so this is wrong. 2 comma 0 is wrong, sorry. Next 7 comma 5, let's substitute. 7 3s are 21 plus 4 5s are 20. Okay, so 20 plus 20 plus 21, okay, it will be 41, which is the valid less than 68 days. Next here, if you see 7 5 are 35 minus 15, that comes 20. Okay, so this is also a right option, C. 0 comma 15. Okay, 0 comma 15, if we substitute 0 here, 5 zeros are 0 minus 15, 45. It is what? It is not greater than 20. So this is wrong option, D1. Last 8 comma 5, 8 3s are 24 plus 5 4s are 20. Okay, it is 44, which is valid under 68 days. Next, 5 8s are 40 minus 3 5s are 15. Okay, 40 minus 15, it gives you 25, which is greater than 20. Okay, so this is also a valid point. Okay, so far we have valid point as 4 comma 0, 7 comma 7 comma 5 and 8 comma 5. Okay, so let's see out of this. Now we need to calculate for z point. Okay, for z, your z is given as z equal to 30x minus 18y. Okay, now we have got these three valid points, but we need to check for the z equation as well. For point 4 comma 0, what we will be getting? We will be getting is 120. You can substitute. Okay, this is for 4 comma 0. 4 comma 0. Next, for again for 7 comma 5, we will be getting what? 120. Okay, you can substitute 7 comma 5. But for 8 comma 5, we will be getting 150. For what? For 8 comma 5. Okay, so the minimum value of the objective function is 120. Okay, so it is achieved by only 2 points, that is 4 comma 0 and 7 comma 5. So this also gets eliminated, last one, and we have two valid points, that is 4 comma 0 and 7 comma 5. So A and C, option A and option C only, that is your first option, that is A and C only. So answer, your option A is your right answer to this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Okay, again match the following. Match the list is there. Question number 15. Okay, we need to match the complexity. Okay, whenever you go for your examination, be sure which sorting techniques, what is the complexity, best case, worst case. Okay, you need to go through that. Okay, so these questions will be very easy. So insertion sort, what is the complexity? Insertion sort has the complexity that is O(n minus 1). This one. Okay, binary search, what is the complexity? O of log n. Quick sort, what is the complexity? O n log n. This goes for your option C. And selection sort as the maximum, that is O n square, and this goes for D. Okay, so option A goes for 3. Check which one is going for 3. Only this one. Okay, A goes for 3, B goes for 1, C goes for 4, and D goes for 2. Okay, so this is your correct option, that is option number A. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, database design question it is. Question number 16. What will be the right sequence of phases of database design? Physical design, conceptual design, logical design, requirement collection and analysis. Okay, so first and very first that we do is requirement collection and analysis, that is option number D. This goes first. After that, what we do? After that, we conceptually design. Okay, so B, this becomes your second step. Then what we do, once it is conceptually designed, then we go for logical, check for logical designing, logically if it is feasible or not, and after that we go for physical implementation. Okay, so your correct option or pattern will be first, that is D, requirement collection and analysis. Then after that, what we do conceptual design, that is B. After that we do logical design, that is C, and after that we do physical implementation, that is DBCA. So DBCA is your option number B, is your correct answer. Answer B is your option number B is your correct answer. Let's move on to the next. Which of the following is not true about global variables? Okay, programming related question. Which of the following is not true? Let's see the options one by one. The values of the global variable which are sent to the called function may change invert, inadvertently by the called function. Okay, so this is true. Okay, this can be accessed and changed. Okay, so option A is true. Functions are supposed to be independent and isolated modules. This character is lost if they use global variable. Okay, so true. Okay, because of this object we were introduced with the object oriented programming. Okay, so next, C, it is not immediately apparent to the reader which values are being sent to the called function. Okay, meaning if we have local variable as well and we have global variable, so immediately reader doesn't understand which value is been assigned. A function that uses global variable does not suffer from reusability. This is not true, and this is your right answer. What it is stating, a function that uses global variable does not suffer from reusability. Obviously, if it is a global variable, okay, that are declared outside of the function can be accessed from any function within the same scope, right? So reusability is there, will be there. Okay, so that's why your option 2, since a function uses global variable does not suffer from reusability, is not true about global variable, because this is incorrect, because global variables indeed will be used by some other functions as well within the scope. Okay, remember, within the scope. So your option D is not true, which makes it the right answer. That is your option D is not true about global variables. Let's move on to the next. Okay, from software engineering, the question is, in software engineering, Jackson's principle is based on what? Okay, which of the following metrics? So matrices are given as designation, definition, refutable assertions, formal review, and requirement elicitation. Okay, so if you have gone through Jackson's principle in SE, software engineering, you will be very able to recollect the Jackson's principle is based on three major things, that is designation, definition, and refutable assertion. Now, what are this? Designation, this involves naming, identifying and naming the different components and software elements in the system. Okay. Definition, this involves the process of providing clear definition of the various components. Here we identify the components. Okay, identify and name them. Here we define them. What we do, we define the each and individual components and various elements that we have identified. And refutable assertion, here what we do, making assertion about software system that can be tested potentially. Okay, system robustness and reliability. Okay, so these three, A, B, and C, are the matrix on which Jackson principle is based. Okay, so A, B, and C only. That is your option number A is your right answer. Answer A is your correct answer. Let's move on to the next. Okay. Definition of dash organized into the following four categories, namely thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, and acting rationally. Sorry. So what it is asking, definition of what organized into following four category: thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, and acting rationally. So this is basically the major four categories of your artificial intelligence. That is your option number C. Artificial intelligence is the study that encompasses the creation of system that is capable of performing tasks that are human capable of. Okay, so that's why it is categorized in four categories: thinking humanly, where AI system can mimic human thoughts process. Thinking rationally, AI system use logical reasoning and decision making as we human do. Acting humanly, AI system that exhibit human-like behaviors. Acting rationally, AI system that act in a rational manner to achieve a certain or specific goals. Okay, so your AI, that is artificial intelligence, option C is your correct answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Okay, question number 20. Which table for a dynamic pipeline become more interesting when a non-linear pattern is followed? Okay, so which of the following table becomes important? Now this question, options what are given: reservation table, confusion table, inverted table, and greedy table. Okay, let's see one by one what it is. See, reservation table, the first option, reservation table is used in dynamic pipelines to keep the track of usage of functional units over the time. Okay, so your correct answer is the option first itself, that is your option A. What happens in reservation table? It is used in dynamic pipelines to keep the track of functional units over time. When a non-linear pattern is followed, the reservation table becomes more interesting because it needs to efficiently handle dynamic allocation and deallocation of resources. Okay, so it becomes more interesting when a non-linear pattern follows because it has to do dynamic allocation and deallocation of resources. So your reservation table is the right answer for this particular question. Okay, so option A is the right answer for this particular question. Next. Okay, again match the list. We will be having many match the list in this particular term paper. Okay, what it is asking, we have functions and what are the use of those functions. fseek, ftell, feof, and rewind. Okay, file related functions. Okay, file related functions, we have fseek, then we have ftell, then we have feof and rewind. Now, F6 sets the position to a desired point. Okay, this do what? It sets to a particular point. Okay, so which is the option? Your third one, sets the position to a desired point in a file. Okay, so this goes to the first, that is A. Now let's see, we can implement the elimination trick here. Yes, A goes to 3, meaning this 2 gets eliminated. Okay, now further, if you know one more. Now EOF, everyone knows what EOF stands for, end of file. So search for end of file. Okay, fourth option is there, used to test for a end of file condition. Okay, so this will go to option number B. Okay, this will go to the option number B, that is C goes to 4. Okay, where C goes to 4? Here. So this option is correct and this is eliminated. Let's see the others as well before clarifying. ftell gives the current position. Okay, it gives you the current position. Okay, here C it will be. Next, last, rewind sets the position to the beginning of the file. Okay, D. So fseek is used to a what? To set the position to a desired point in the file. ftell tells you the current position in the file. feof is used to test the end of the file condition. Okay, if you have reached to the end of the file while reading or writing. And rewind gives you, sets the position to the beginning of the file. So A goes for 3, B goes for 1, C goes for 4, and D goes for second. So option B is your right answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. YCC is which of the following parsers? Okay, yet another. First of all, you should know what is YACC. It is YACC. So it is known as yet another compiler. Yet another compiler. Now what it is a tool. What kind of tool? It is a tool to generate a parser in the form of look ahead parser. Look ahead LR parser. It is a tool to generate what? A parser in look ahead LR parser. Okay. So your correct answer straight away you can mark is option number D, that is YACC, that is yet another compiler is a tool that is used to generate a parser in the form of LAR parser. Okay. So also YAC is wisely used in compiler construction to generate the syntax analysis phase of a compiler. Okay, you need to remember that. So option number D is your right answer. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, again match the list. We have software risk and what are their uses. Okay, so let's match this. So we have predictable risk, business risk, project risk, and past project. Okay, so project risk, past risk, past project. Okay, let's go one by one. Business risk, if you go by the business risk, is basically the strategic risk. B goes to first one. B goes to first one is only one option, right? This one. Okay, others we can eliminate, but wait, we will check the others as well. Past project leads to implementation. Basically, it is talking about the implementation. So D goes to 3. So this is the only option. So past project is goes for implementation. Okay. Business risk goes for strategic risk. Predictable risk, the risk we can predict, other past project experience, right? So this goes for A. And project risk is what? Staffing and organization. This goes for C. So A is 4, A is 4, B is first, right? C is second, and D is third. Okay, so your option D is your correct answer for this particular question, software risk and their use. Okay, now predictable risk. Now just understand this: predictable risk can be identified and mitigated using knowledge and experience from past project. Okay, so this goes for A. Business risks are often tied to strategic decisions. Okay, so they are often tied to what? They are often tied to strategic decisions and long-term planning affecting the overall direction of the project. Project risks involve issues related, right? Staffing, resources, allocation, organization, that impact the project success. And D is what? Past project. Basically, whatever we have learned from the past project implementation. Okay. So your correct answer is answer D for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Okay. Next, we have which of the following description is are true with respect to the component given. So let's see one by one. Okay. Red black tree guarantees worst case of O log n time for search, insert, and delete. Yes, this is true. Try use for efficient prefix based searches. Okay, this one is also true because prefix based searching it is common in applications like autocomplete and directory lookups. AVL tree, self-balancing binary search tree with striker balance criteria. Okay, so this is also true. Balancing factor -1, 0, or 1 is considered. So this is also true. B tree, B tree allows efficient search, insert. Okay, insert will be here. Delete operations in disk-based system. This is also true. Okay, so your correct answer is option D. Option D, A, B, C, and D. All of them are true. So answer D is your right answer. Let's move on to the next. Sliding window protocol question. Okay. Question number 25, sequence the following stages of sliding window protocol for flow control. Okay, we in flow control, flow congestion control, we have sliding window protocol. We need to arrange the sequence. Okay, what are given? Sender move the window to the next frame. Sender sends a window frame. Receiver acknowledges. If acknowledge is not received, sender retransmits the frame. So first step that is done is sender sends a window of frames. This is the first one. Next, what is done? Receiver acknowledges the received frames. Okay, first sender sends the frame. Second, receiver acknowledge the received frames. Okay, then sender move the window to the next set of frames. This is the third one. And fourth and last, if acknowledgement is not received, sender retransmits the frame. Okay, so first what will be? First sender sends the window frame, that is window of frames, that is option number B. Then receiver acknowledge the received frames from the sender, option C. Then sender moves the window to the next set of frames for sending. Okay, so A, option A. And then if acknowledgement is not received, sender retransmits the frame, that is option D. Okay, so from the following option, your correct option is option D, B, C, A, D. Okay, so your answer will be option number D, that is B, C, A, and D. Let's move on to the next one quickly. Okay, the light given off by the phosphor during exposure to electronic beam is known as. Okay, now this is from your cathode ray tube displays. Okay, what it is asking, the light given off by the phosphor during exposure to the electronic beam is known as what? It is known as fluorescence. Your correct answer is fluorescence is the emission of light by a substance. Okay, it is the emission of light by the substance. In CRT or other displays, when the phosphor coating is there, right, on the CRT, when it is struck by electronic beam, it emits visible light in the process of fluorescence. Okay, so your correct answer is option A, that is fluorescence. What are the other things? Phosphorescence involves a delayed emission of light, so this is not a right option. Persistence refers to the duration the screen commits to emit the light. Retracing means in the process when electronic beam returns to the beginning of the display, that is to the top left end, okay, for rewriting or for redisplay. Okay, so your correct answer is A, fluorescence is the light given off through phosphor during exposure to electronic beam. So answer A is your right answer. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next question. Okay, consider the above binary tree. What will be the in-order traversal? Okay, you should know what is in-order traversal first of all. In in-order traversal, we visit what? We visit left first, then root, then right. Okay, let's denote right by T. Okay, let me write it down. Left, root, and then right. Okay, in this pattern we are visiting the nodes. So extreme left is B. So first B will be visited, then A will be visited. So then we visit C, but C has something left in his left hand. So first we will be visiting D, then C. So D, then C, then we have E. Okay, then we have F. F has something in his left hand. Okay, left side. So G will be visited first, then F, then H. So G, F, and H. Okay, so this will be the in order traversal for this particular tree. That is your first option. B, A, D, C, E, F, E, G, F, and H. So option A will be your in order traversal for this particular mentioned tree, where we visit left first, left node first, then root node, then right node. Okay, so option A is your right answer. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, which are often needed to evaluate the cache performance. Okay, which parameter it is asking for? Which are often needed to evaluate the cache performance? So your answer is hit ratio is the metric. This is the metric that is used, is a critical metric for evaluating the cache performance. It measures the percentage of cache access. Okay, that results in the cache hit. Okay, cache hitting percentage basically. A higher hit ratio indicates the cache is effectively storing and providing the required data, reducing the need to slower main memory. Okay, so this is the metric that is used to evaluate the cache performance. Other metrics are latency, transfer rate and cache rate can also be evaluating, but latency measures the time. This measures what? This measures the time taken to access data. Time taken to access data, so this is wrong. Cache traces provide detailed record of cache access, but they are not serve as a metric. Okay, critical metric for evaluating. They what they do? They provide the detailed record of cache accesses. So wrong. And transfer rate, basically the rate indicates the speed at which the data is moving on. Okay, so hit ratio is your correct answer. Answer A is used to evaluate the cache performance. Next, which of the following uses only increment operation for adding and removing element at the either end? Okay, your data structure question. Which of the following uses only increment operations for adding and removing element at either end? So you know Q, right? We are uh, at Q, we use what? First in, first out. Okay, first in, first out. So addition and addition happens at the rear end and deletion goes from the front end. Okay, so from this, your DQs, okay, spelling is wrong here. Your DQs is a data structure that allows element to be added or removed from both the sides. Okay, in DQ we can add and remove element from both the side. In Q, suppose your Q is there this way, elements are added from this end and removed from this side. Stack, we have something like this, right? This end is closed, we are removing, adding and removing from the same end, adding and removing from the same end. Priority queues, again concept of queues. So the in DQ we have both the end from where we can either add it or remove the element. So your correct answer is answer option number D, that is DQ. Let's see the next question number 30. Which of the following is true about pumping lemma for regular expression, regular language? Okay. So which of the following is true? First of all, it applies to all the regular language. This is true. It applies only to infinite regular languages. This is not true, false. It applies to all context-free languages, not true. It applies to all recursively enumerable languages, not true. Okay, so your option, right option is it applies to all regular form of languages. Okay, so option A, answer A is your right answer for this particular question, that is pumping lemma for regular language, it applies for all regular language expressions. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, now which of the following statements are true about sets? Okay, so we have given first one, is there. Let's see one by one. The empty set contains what it is stating. The empty set contains no elements. False, because 0 is not an element of this, so this is not a right option. Next, the set 0 has only one element 0. The empty set is not listed an element. Okay, false, because this is not Elpison in any list. Elpison should be there. Okay, so this is also wrong. Okay, next C1, the set okay, the set contains one element, that is this. Okay, this is true because it is containing this particular element, has one empty set itself. Okay, true, because Elpison is explicitly an element of this particular set. Option D, let's see the option D. Okay, belongs to, it has written belongs to, false, because it is an element of itself. It is what? It is an element of itself. So this is false. Last one. Okay, there are two elements. Okay, there are two elements and this set belongs to this one. Okay, here it is mentioned. True, because every element of this, which is phi, is present in this particular E set. Okay, so this is true. So only true are C and E option. C and E, that is your option number D. Option number D is your correct answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next question number 32. Choose the correct statement. A problem which is NP complete will have the property that it can be solved in polynomial time if all the other NP complete problems can also be solved in polynomial time. Okay, so first statement is true. All NP complete problems are NP hard problems. This is also true. If an NP hard problem can be solved in polynomial time, then all NP complete problem can be solved in polynomial time. Okay, so this is also true. We have just seen in the option number A itself, right? Next, all NP hard problems are not NP complete. True. Okay, so all the four options, that is your A, B, C, D, are true options. Okay, so your answer will be A, B, C, D. That is your option number D is your correct answer option for this particular question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next we have is from classic planning definition. It is, which of the following is not a component of classic planning definition? Which of the following is not a component? Okay, first we will see what are the components of primary components in classic planning definition. The primary components are init, action, and goal. These are the primary component. Init refers to the initial stage. Init refers to what? Initial state where the planning begins in classic planning definition. Action refers to the set of operations performed or actions performed. Okay, so this is also the crucial component. Goal is the target or the desired state, or you can say the desired state that we are planning to achieve. Okay, so these three are the main component of what classic planning definition. Whichever one is not, domain is not your component of classic planning definition. So your correct answer for this question will be domain. That is your answer. Option number D is not a component of classic planning definition. Let's move on to the next. Okay, next what we have is, in concurrency control, phantom problem may occur. In concurrency control, phantom problem may occur when records are inserted, records are deleted, records are modified, records are indexed. Okay. Okay, first of all, you should know what is phantom problem. In concurrency control, The phantom problem occurs when records are inserted into the database during the execution of a transaction. Okay. And now what this is, the phantom problem arises in a situation where a transaction reads a set of records that satisfy a certain condition, and another transaction inserts new record that also satisfy the same condition. For example, if transaction A reads, if transaction, sorry, here, if transaction TA is there, it is doing what? It is reading record where age is greater than 30, and someone is inserts a new record. Let's say transaction B inserts a new record with age equal to 35. Okay, age equal to 35. Both this satisfy the criteria where we are trying to fetch the records where age is greater than 30. Okay, so this inconsistency leads to the phantom problem where transaction A is trying to fetch a certain set of records that satisfy a certain condition, that is age is equal to 30. At the same time, another transaction is inserting a new record that satisfies the given condition. So the phantom problem basically occurs when the records are inserted. Okay, so your option A is your right option. Okay, so phantom problem occurs when records are inserted. Let's move on to the next. Okay, again we have match the list question. Okay, I guess in this paper we had many match the list questions. So let's see this one as well. Conflict resolution, common sequence, quadruples, L attributed definitions. Now you should know this is from where? Your graphs and this graph and network theory question. Okay, so quadruples, common subsequence. You should know at least two. Common subsequence delivery refers to direct acyclic graph, DAG. Direct acyclic graph. So let's see, B refers to 4 in which option? Okay, we have directly got this one. Let's check the others as well. Quadruples refers to 3 address code. Quadruples refers to 3 address code. So this goes for C, this goes for B. Okay, conflict resolution is associated with precedence. Okay, and L attributed definition is connected to syntax directed translations. Okay, so option A goes to second, B goes for 4, A goes to second, B goes for 4, C goes for first, and D goes for third. Okay, so this option B in the given set of options is your correct answer. So option B is your correct answer. Let's move on to the next. Consider int x equal to 10, y equal to 15. What will be the value of x after executing these statements? Okay. Okay. Let's break down the given code. The initial values what we have is x equal to 10, y equal to 15. Okay. So now we have a statement x equal to y, y plus x colon y minus x. Okay, if you observe, so there is a ternary conditional operator. And what is the concept of it? Condition is given, this is the condition given. Sorry for the writing. Condition is given. If condition is true, then perform this, and condition is false, then perform this. Simple as that. Okay. So when the condition is true, the expression y plus x is evaluated. Okay. What is evaluated? Y plus x is evaluated. So first we will check if the condition is true or not. X equal to y since x equal to y results in x being non-zero. Okay, since what, x equal to y is a non-zero. If you do this, it will give a non-zero value. Non-zero value, non-zero value. Okay, if you do this in C++. Okay, so this becomes true. This condition x equal to y, that is 10 equal to 15, becomes true. That is why y plus x is evaluated. This one is evaluated, and what it states. So what it states, see here what we have done, x equal to y. What is the value of y? 15. So initially the x value was 10. Now the x value, since we have done x equal to y, now the x value is 15. So if we do y plus y, that is y value is 15, and now the x value has changed from 10 to 15. Why? We have performed here x equal to y operation. So x is also 15 and your answer will be 30. Okay, so closely you need to watch these statements whenever you go with this ternary conditions. Okay, so now the x is also 15, so 15 plus 50, 30 will be your right answer. That is your option number D. Answer D will be your right option for this particular question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, question number 37 we have. What is the correct sequence of steps used by knowledge-based designing? Whenever we are performing knowledge-based designing, what are the correct steps? Okay, so ask question, choose domain, select atoms, tell the system proposition. So the first step that we do is choose task, domain, or the world to represent. This is the first step that we do. Next, what we do, we select the atoms to represent the proposition of interest. This is the second step we do. Once we have choose the domain or the world to represent, next we select the atoms. Okay, or you can say basically select atoms that are relevant to the domains that are identified. Okay, after this, what we do, we tell the system proposition that are true and intended. So this is the third step that we do. And at last, we ask questions about the intended interpretations. This is the fourth one. Okay, so first we choose the task, domain, or world to represent. Next, we choose the atom to represent proposition of interest. Next, tell the system proposition that are true in the intended interpretation. That is your option D. And lastly, we ask the question about the intended interpretation. Okay, so B, C, D, A. That is your option number B is your correct answer for this particular question. So answer B is the correct answer for this question. Let's move on to the next one. Again, one more match the list question is there. Okay, let's see. Service level agreement. Okay, now these are with respect to your SaaS, IoT, all those recent high-end technologies. Service level agreement. What is service level agreement? Option number A here. First of all, what is this? This is basically a contract that specifies performance standards and service availability. Okay, so where is that? So you can see here, contract that specifies performance standards and services availability. This goes for your option number A. So A goes for 3 and A goes for 3. So this one gets eliminated. Let's see one more. Virtualization. Okay, this one you should know. Virtualization is a method allowing multiple operating systems to run on a single physical server. Okay, with respect to these options I am saying. Okay, a method that allows multiple operating system to run on a single physical server. Okay, parts of the physical server are created. Okay, virtual divisions are made. Okay, that look like we are performing on a multi operating system. Okay, so this goes for B. So B to 4. Let's check B to 4. Which one is the option? So this is the option, right? This and this gets eliminated. Let's check the other option as well. C, IoT, Internet of Things, is basically a technology that connects and enables communication between physical devices over internet. This goes for C. And lastly, platform as service, a developed environment provides over internet to create and deploy application. Okay, so this goes for D. Platform as a service is basically a service where a developed environment is provided over the internet so that you can create and deploy your application. You don't need to worry about the platform resources and all those. Obviously, you need to pay for it, but you don't need to worry. A particular platform is being provided to you. Okay, so the correct option is A goes for 3, B goes for 4, okay, C goes for 1, and D goes for 2. So your option B is your correct answer for this particular question. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, code optimization related question. Okay, question number 39. Regarding the code optimization, choose the correct sequence. Algebraic simplification, use of machine indents, redundant instruction elimination, flow of control optimization, improve the target code. Okay, so sequence is like redundant instruction elimination will be done first. Next, flow of control optimization. Next, algebraic simplification will be done. Next, use of machine indents, and lastly, improve the target code. Okay, so your sequence will be C, redundant instruction elimination, then D, flow of control optimization, then A, algebraic simplification, then B, use of machine indents, and then E, improved target code. So this will be your code optimization correct sequence. C, D, A, B, that is your option number C. So your correct answer is answer C. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. So we have here is, which of the following does not interrupt a running process? Which of them cannot interrupt? Okay. Now, what can interrupt? A power failure can interrupt? Yes, this can interrupt. Okay. Can a timer interrupt? Yes, clock sequence can interrupt. Can an external device implication interrupt a running process? Yes. What can't interrupt is the scheduler. Is a system software for scheduling. Okay, that manages the process in scheduling within the operating system. So scheduler cannot interrupt a running process. Scheduler do not interrupt a running process, but instead manage their execution sequence. Okay, what schedulers do? Schedulers provide a sequence and manage the execution sequence of multiple processes. Okay, in this schedulers we have long-term schedulers, short-term schedulers, medium-term schedulers, right? So scheduler is your correct option, which does not interrupt a running process. So answer C is your right answer. Let's move on to the next. Okay. Which of the following do not represent memory reference instruction? Okay. Now, this is from your micros and microcontrollers, right? So, which of this does not represent memory reference instruction? Okay. First of all, you should know what is memory reference instruction. Memory reference instruction is one that involves a operation with memory. Okay, involves an operation with memory, such as loading data from memory or storing data registered to memory. That is storing data from register to memory. So in the given options, let's see one by one what are the options. B, option B and C we have. See here option we have B and C. B and D, A and D, and A and E. Let's see the operation A, what it is stating. Operation A, what it says, A 1 opcode, okay, mod equal to 1, opcode 0 1 0 1 0, okay, mode equal to 1 suggest indicates basically a what non-memory reference. So this option is wrong. Okay, again we see 0 opcode mode equal to 0 and opcode is given 111. So mode equal to 0 opcode 111 indicates a non-memory reference instruction, since mode 0 equal to mode equal to 0 means typically memory, no memory reference is there. Okay, so here first one mode and mode equal to 1, so memory reference is there. Okay, so this is not in our correct option. Opcode 0 mode 0, here no memory reference is there, so this might be our answer. This is in the pair, we need to select 2. Okay, next C, what it has, mode equal to 1, again opcode is given as, since mode is 1, okay, since mode is 1, so and opcode is 111, we can say it also has a memory reference, so this is also not the right option we are looking for. Next, D, mode equal to 1 and opcode equal to 11110, there is no memory reference. Okay, generally instruction mode as 1 refers memory reference. Okay, so but since here it is 0, here opcode here 110, here the pattern is 110, so it does not refer to memory reference. Okay, so this can be the one option that we can look for. Mode equal to 1 and opcode equal to 001. Okay, lastly we have what, memory reference. Okay, so this is not also the right option. So what are the options we have left with? B and D are the correct, or you can say the only correct answer, where the memory does not indicate any memory reference. Okay, so instruction basically generally use a addressing mode and a opcode that corresponds to memory operations. Now this 3-bit opcode indicates the where you will be storing the data or loading, or with reference to memory, loading or storing the data. Okay, so from these two we have identified B and D are non-memory reference instructions. Okay, so your correct answer will be answer B, that is B and D only. Let's move on to the next. Okay, from database we have question, which of the following command can be used to modify data in a SQL? Okay, always remember when we say modify means changes or updations also. Okay, so it doesn't always mean only the update. Okay, if we are adding something, that is also the data modification. If we are deleting, then that is also a data modification. Okay, so which of the following command can modify data in a SQL table? Sorry, so first is insert. Yes, using insert we can modify the data. Delete, yes, using remove or delete command we can modify the data. Update, yes, using update command we can modify the data. Select, no, we just display the data using select command. Okay, so your correct option will be option D, that is A, B and C only. Okay, insert, delete and update commands are used to modify the data in a SQL table. So your correct answer is option D, A, B, C only. Let's move on to the next. Okay, now we have noise channel question. Okay, consider a noiseless channel with a bandwidth of 5000 hertz transmitting a signal with 2 signal levels. The maximum bit rate is, we need to identify the maximum bit rate. Okay, so formula is bit rate. Okay, you should know the formula. bit rate equal to 2 into bandwidth. Okay, 2 into bandwidth into log to the base of 2 signal levels, how many levels we have. Okay, so basically 2 into what is the bandwidth we have here is 5000 hertz, right? So 5000 hertz and log to the base of 2 signal levels, right? L is given 2, see here 2 signal levels, so log to the base of 2, okay, which will correspond to 1. So this will become 10,000 bits per second. Okay, since this evaluates to 1, log to the base of 2 evaluates to 1. So bit rate that we are getting is 10,000 bit rate per second. That is your option number B, 10,000 bps. Okay, so your answer will be answer B. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, which of the DBMS related question it is? Which of the following is our false statement? We need to identify false statement, not the true ones. Okay, so let's see one by one. All key relation is always in BCNF since it has no functional dependency. This is true. Okay, if it since no FDs are there, it is always in considered key relation is always considered in to be in BCNF. A relation that is not in 4NF due to non-trivial MDV must be decomposed to convert into a set of relations in 4NF. This is also true. The statement what it states, if a relation is not in 4NF due to presence of non-trivial MVD, that is multi-value dependency, that violates 4NF. So it should be decomposed and redundancy should be eliminated to achieve 4NF compliance. Next, the decomposition removes the redundancy by MVD. Yes, the decomposition in 4NF removes the redundancy that arises due to MVD. Just now we discussed in option number B. Okay, so that's the goal of 4NF, to eliminate non-trivial MVDs that are not supported by super keys. Okay, 3NF is stronger than BCNF. This is false statement. Okay, 3NF is not stronger than BCNF. BCNF is stronger than 3NF because every relation in BCNF is in 3NF, but every 3NF relation is not in BCNF. Okay, so 3NF is not stronger than BCNF. BCNF is stronger than 3NF. So option D only is the false statement. Okay, only false statement. So your correct option is answer C. Okay, that is only D is false statement. Let's move on to the next one. Next, what we have is consider pipeline unit for fixed point multiplication of 8-bit integers. Arrange the stages in correct sequence. Okay, what will be the sequence? Perform those. So let's move on to this one. Stage first. Let's see the stages. What are those? Okay, consist of 2 CAs. Is CPA adds up to 2 number. It's CPA of 2 level of 4 CCS generates 8 level partial product. Okay, so the correct sequence is first we generate what? Generate 8 partial products. Then that is made up to what? Made up to 2 level of 4 CSAS. Now what is this 4 CAS? That is carry save address. Okay, so the first what we do is generate 8 partial product. This stage is the initial step where the multiplicand and the multiplier are combined to produce partial products. Second what we do? Second we do what? Consists of 2 levels of 4 CSAS, that is carry save address. This stage processes the partial product to reduce the number of operands. Third what we do? Third is consist of 2 CES. This one consists of 2 CES and it merges 4 numbers from previous stage. Okay, so previous stage, this further reduces the operand. And lastly, is CPA is carry propagate adder. CPA is what? Carry propagate adder, which adds up the two number. This final stage produces the final product by adding the two last number. Okay, so your correct option is your D, then C, then A, then B. So this is the correct sequence stages in a fixed point multiplication of 8-bit integers. Okay, which option is correct? So option B is your correct answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next what we have, the entire set of parameters including return address that is stored for a procedure invocation is referred to as. The entire set of parameters including return address that is stored for a procedure invocation is referred to as stack frame. Okay, your stack frame consists of, it includes the return address, which is the point to which control should be written after the function execution completes. Okay, the stack frame also consists of your parameters passed to the function, local variables, and other important data for function execution. Each function calls. So these basically stack frames are crucial for maintaining the correct flow of control and data during program execution. Now, what are the other options? Stack base is basically the starting point of the stack memory region. So this is not the right answer. Stack limits to refers to the maximum allowed size of the stack in a memory region. So this is not also the right option. And stack record is less commonly used, but we can it is synonym to this stack frame. Okay, but it is less commonly used. So your correct answer is stack frame, that consists of your different components like related to your function, that is return address, function call, function variables, local variables, and the important data that is required for the execution of the process. So answer A is your correct answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next one. Again, we have match the list question. Okay, Boolean algebra law is given and axioms is respective axioms we need to match. Okay, so question number 47. Let's match this. Absorption law, what the absorption law says? See, absorption law says what? A plus A into B is equal to A. This is what absorption law says. Okay, if you remember. Now what is bounded law? A plus 1 equal to 1. What is identity law? A plus, plus 0. This is plus. A plus 0 equal to A. This is what? Identity law. And what is distributive law? The famous one, A into B plus C is equal to A into B. Okay, this is multiplication plus A into C. Okay, the basic one. So distributive law you should be able to match. First of all, D to 3. So this goes here. So D to 3, any option is there? Yes, rest are eliminated, and you can see this one, D to 3. Okay, others. Absorption law, as I said, fourth one, A plus A into B equal to A. Bounded law, A plus 1 equal to 1. That becomes your bounded law. And identity law, A plus 0 is equal to A. So correct option pattern will be A goes to 4, B goes to 1, C goes to 2, and D goes to 3. That is option A is your right answer. Option A is your right answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. 48. Which of the following is not the part of requirement management? Okay. Question number 48. Which of the following is not the part of the requirement management? See, requirement management consists of major three common elements. Features traceability table. Yes, it consists of this. What it does, tracks the implementation of various features. Next, dependency traceability matrix. Yes, it is also the part of requirement management that manages dependencies between different requirements. Next, interface traceability table where tracks interfaces between different component and their specification. Page traceability matrix is not the part of the requirement management. So your option D is your right answer for this particular question. That is, it is page traceability table is not a part of requirement management. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, which of the following algorithms are based on breadth first search BFS? Okay, see, many times it comes BFS, DFS, okay, backtracking, divide and conquer to match up plus this kind of questions. Okay, so you should go through this set of questions so that these becomes easy cakes in the examinations. Okay, so coming back to this question, BFS, which of the following algorithms are based from BFS? Okay, so correct answers are first your Prism's algorithm. Okay, Prism algorithm. This is used to find minimum spanning tree. Okay, it starts from an arbitrary node and explore the adjacent node. Okay, so that's why this is based on BFS. Next is Dijkstra algorithm. That is your option number C. This is also based on BFS. BFS and BFS. Okay, BFS. Okay, so what happens in Dijkstra algorithm? It is used to find the shortest path between node. It starts from a source and uses BFS to explore all possible paths to other nodes. Okay. Additional, if we see what are the other algorithms here, Crusoe's algorithm is there, right? Then greedy algorithm, dynamic programming, divide and conquer. We are using backtracking there. Okay, so only right option are A, Prism's algorithm, and C, Dijkstra algorithm that uses BFS. Okay, so A and C, that is option D. Last option is your right answer, that is option D. A and C are based on BFS. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, question number 50. The primary function of firewall in network security is, what is the primary function? Okay, so given the options, let's see one by one. To monitor network traffic and detect anomalies, to create virtual private networks for secure communication. This is the wrong answer. You can straight away eliminate. To filter incoming and outgoing network traffic based on security rule. Yes, this is the most suitable option, you can say. To encrypt data before transmission, no, it doesn't perform any encryption and decryption, and you can eliminate this as well. The most suitable option is to filter incoming and outgoing network traffic based on security rules that you have set. Okay, so firewall's primary function is to do that. So option C is your right answer for this particular question. The primary function of firewall is in network security is to filter incoming and outgoing network packets. Okay, basically creating a trusted network and allow the traffic based on that. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's start with the next question. Next we have question number 51. Which of the following is the simplified form of given function? Okay, let's build the K-map for this. Okay, we have three terms. Okay, A, B and C. So we will be taking A this side, B and C this side. Okay, so let's draw this. Okay, so here A dash, then A, then here we have B dash, C dash, B dash, C, B, C dash, and BC. Okay, so let's term it. So first number is 0, so we will be placing 1 here. Okay, next is 1, so basically if you are not able to configure it in 3 terms, meaning 3 numbers A, B, C, so 0, 0, 0 goes for implies for 0, right? And then 0, 0, 1 implies for 1, right? Then you have 3 that implies for 0, 1, 1, and then you have 7 that implies for this. Okay, so accordingly you need to map. Okay, okay, this is 3 and this is 7. Okay, so let's place the min terms. Okay, so we have placed first one, that is 0 here, then is 1, that is 0, 0, 1, that is A dash B dash C, so it will go here. Next we have A B dash C dash. Okay, so A B dash and C dash A dash B B C. Okay, so it will go here, sorry, and last is ABC, so it will go here. Now we will be grouping this. So first group will be this and second group will be this. So from here you can straight away identify what terms we have: A dash B dash C, group 1, A dash B dash and C dash. Group 2, what we have: A dash B C, and group the other element is A B C. So from here the common element you can pick it up. Okay, so what we will be getting: A dash B dash plus B C, B C. So this will be your simplified form for this particular expression. So option C is your right answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, arrange the following graph on the number of basis of number of ages in the increasing order. So for this, you should know the number of ages of the respective graphs. So let me write it down one by one. What is the formula for this? These graphs. Okay, so complete graph. Okay, complete graph has n into n minus 1 by 2. This is for complete graph. Cycle graph has n edges. Wheel graph has 2 into n minus 1 edges. Okay, then complete biparate graph has n square edges. And lastly, n cube graph has n into 2 raised to n minus 1 edges. Okay, now what it is asking, it is asking to arrange them in the number of increasing number of order of the number of edges. So what we can do is we can take n equal to 5, n equal to 5. So for complete graph, what it will be, for complete graph, the formula is n into n minus 1 by 2. So what will be the output? That will be 10. Okay, 5 minus 1, 4, 4 into 5, 20 divided by 2. Okay, 10. Next, cycle graph, as it is n equal to 5, it will be. Next, wheel graph, 2 raised to n, 2 into n minus 1. Okay, so it will give us 8. Next, okay, just okay, that's the line above. Okay, let me just clear it out. Okay, okay, good to go. So next, what we have is complete biparate graph, that is n square, so it becomes 25. Okay, and last is n cube, so that is n into 2 raised to n minus 1. That gives you 80. Okay, so accordingly in the increasing order we need to write. So the smallest one here is complete graph. Okay, let me mention the number as well, so it will be easy for you. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, and this is E. Okay, so the smallest one here is B, right? Smallest one is B. Okay, then we have C, right? 5, then 8, then 10, that is A, then D, then E. Okay, so this will be the increasing order in the number of according basis on the number of edges. Okay, see which option is matching. So option A is matching. So option A will be your right answer, that is B, C, A, D, E. Okay, so your answer will be answer A for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Correct the order of instruction cycle. Okay, this instruction cycle question has been repeated more frequently in professor, assistant professor related examinations, or you can say your GATE or UGC NET or set examination, that is fetch decode cycle. Okay, so what is the correct order of this execution? So first is fetch the information. Second is decode the instruction. Okay, third is read the effective address, and fourth is execute the instruction. Okay, so your correct pattern will be B, that is fetch the instruction or information, then D, decode the instruction. Okay, we decode the opcode and this operand. Next, read the effective address if it is dependency. Okay, means it is the operand has a memory address or reference address. And lastly, to execute the instruction. Okay, so the correct format is BDAC, that is your option number B is your right answer. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, next is which of the following is the correct sequence with regards to service routine? Okay, now it is with respect to service routine. You need to guess the correct sequence. Okay, so if you have observed so far, we have 4 to 5 questions regarding the correct orders. Okay, so there are match the list and correct order sequence more questions in this particular December 2024 set that was conducted on Zoom. Okay, so these are the very basic questions, but sometimes we may make minute mistakes. Okay, so let's come back on this one. So what is the correct sequence? First of all, when it is regards to service routine, we save the contents of process register. That is, this is the first step. After this, check which flag is set. Okay, you need to check the flag as it is service routine. Next is service the device whose flag is set. Okay, you need to service that particular device first, because that's why we have halted our operation. Next is to restore the content of process register, because we need to resume back our execution. Then last is turn the interrupt facility on. Okay, so your correct sequence is A, save the contents of process register, then D, check which flag is set, then C, service the device whose flag is set, then E, restore the contents of process register, and lastly B, turn the interrupt facility back on. Okay, so your correct pattern is, correct sequence is A, D, C, E, B. That is your option number D. Okay, so your correct answer for this particular question is option number D, that is A, D, C, E, B. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, consider the following statements regarding multiple access techniques and identify the correct ones. Okay, we need to identify the correct ones with respect to multiple access techniques. Okay, so Aloha is used for multiple access on a shared medium. Yes, this is true. TDMA uses voltage table for time slot allocation. No, wrong. TDMA doesn't use that. Okay, TDMA doesn't use voltage table. Okay, it is not managed by walls. It is managed by CD. This time slots. Okay. Next, CSMA CD was invented for wireless networks. No, false again. CDMA codes are the sequence of number generated by orthogonal codes. Yes, this is right. So only A and D are right. Okay, and this is in option number D. Okay, so your correct answer is option D. Okay, ALOA is used for multiple access on shared medium, and CDMA codes are used for codes are sequence of number generated through orthogonal codes. Okay, and these two are false. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, again sequence. Find the correct sequence of prototype software development model. Okay, software engineering question it is. What is the correct sequence? Prototype software development model. Okay, so start is the first step. Okay, you can guess it. Start, then quick play is your second, then quick design is your third, then develop prototype is your fourth, and deliver to customer will be your fifth. So the correct pattern is A, first we start, E, we start with quick play, D, we follow a quick design, B, we develop a prototype based on that quick design, and C, we deliver it to customer. So this is your correct sequence for prototype software development model. Okay, so start the process, starting the project. Quick play means initial interaction with idea or requirement. Quick design or initial design created based on the initial interactions. Develop prototype based on the quick design and then deliver it to customer. So your option B is your correct answer, that is A, E, D, B, C. Okay, so answer B is the correct answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Again, match the list question. Okay, list 1 with list 2. Okay, now you have RAID levels. Okay, RAID levels, remember the RAID levels so that it will be easier for you for many other question as well. Okay, so RAID level 1 is basically used in disk mirroring. So this goes for A. RAID level 2 is basically for error correcting codes. ECC, can we find ECC here? Yes, it is here. Okay, so this goes for B. Let's try with elimination. Can we eliminate? A goes for 2, B goes for 3. A goes for 2. Okay, A goes for 2 and B goes for 4. So this is the sequence we are getting. Okay, A goes for 2 is fixed. RAID level 1 disk mirroring. So this both gets eliminated. Okay, so RAID level 3, what it does? Bit parity, bit interleaved parity organization. So this goes in C. And RAID level 4, walk interleaved parity organization. This goes for D. So A goes for 2, B goes for 4, C goes for first, and D goes for 3. So this is your correct sequence, that is option B is the right answer for this particular question. Okay, RAID level 1, we do what? Disk mirroring, where the data is duplicated across 2 or more disks. RAID level 2, ECC organization uses error correcting codes to improve data reliability. RAID level 3, bit interleaved parity organization, this uses byte level stripping, dedicated parity disk. RAID level 4, block interleaved parity organization, this uses block level stripping with dedicated parity disk. Okay, so your correct answer is option number B. Let's move on to the next. Okay, which of the following are not data manipulation instructions? Okay, which of the following are not data manipulation instructions? So the first of all, we will see what are the data manipulation instructions. So here, and increment, shift, okay, and increment, shift, these are the data manipulation instructions. Okay, what does the add does? Add is a logical operation, bitwise and between two operands manipulating the data. Increment increments the value of the register by 1. Shift the bits of a register by either left or right. Now what are non-data manipulation? So straight away it is call and loud. Okay, so this is A and B. So your correct answer is option number B, A and B. Now why? Now for what call and loud are used? Call is an instruction basically used in assembly language to call a subroutine or a function. It is not a data manipulation instruction. Loud, whereas is used for, or it is, I guess it is not any known instruction. Okay, so these are so these two are the exclusion. Call we know, okay, and loud there is no such I can recall, okay, but it might be a typographical mistake. Okay, so only A and B are not non-data manipulation instructions. This you need to remember. Okay, and increment and shift are data manipulation instructions. So your answer is B, that is A and B only. Let's move on to the next. Okay, now your computer graphic related questions. Arrange the 2D viewing transformation pipeline. Okay, arrange 2D viewing transformation pipeline. Okay, what is the steps or the sequence for the viewing transformation? So first is to map normalized viewpoint to device coordinate. Next is to construct the world coordinate scene using modeling coordinates coordinate transformation. Next is mapping viewing coordinates to normalized viewing point using window viewpoint specification. And lastly, convert world coordinate to viewing coordinate. Okay, so your sequence is D, C, B, and A, reverse. Okay, D, C, B, and A. First we map normalized viewpoint to device coordinate, then construct the world coordinates using sense coordinates scene modeling coordinates. Mapping view, then we perform mapping view coordinates to normalized view because we need to select the window pane. Okay, outside of that we will be neglected. Convert world coordinate to viewing coordinate. Okay, so your correct answer is option number A, that is DCBA. So your answer is DCBA, that is option number A. Let's move on to the next. Okay, question number 60. An alternate key in database table is also called what? Candidate key. An alternate key is also called as what? Candidate key in your table. Okay, and candidate key is a attribute or a set of attribute that uniquely identify a row in a table. Okay, and it is alternative to primary key. Okay, so the candidate key is the right answer. Okay, so option B is the right answer. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next what we have. Okay, in virtual, if you are not able to read it, I will read. If the virtual memory size is 32 MB and a physical memory size is 4 MB with a page size of 2 KB, calculate the number of frames available in physical memory. Okay, so let's pen down the formula here. First, convert the physical memory size into kilobytes. Okay, so physical memory size here given is physical memory size is given as 4 MB. Okay, so first we will convert it to KB. Okay, so 4 into 1024, that will give you 4096 KB, right? Next, divide the physical memory size by the page size to get the number of frames. Okay, so the number of frames formula is number of frames formula is equal to physical memory size divided by page size. Okay, you need to remember this formula. Physical memory size divided by page size. So what we have, physical memory size just now 409 KB we have, right? 409 KB. So 4096 KB and divided by 2 KB. So 2 KB is here given, right? Page size 2 KB. So you will get 2048 K frames. 2048 frames. Number of frames you have is 2048. Therefore, the number of frames physically available in physical memory is 2048 frames, number of frames. So your answer is answer B will be your right answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, next, the major adverse side effects of scan conversions are, okay, conversion techniques. Okay, what are the major adverse side effects of a scan conversion? Staircase appearance, yes, this is a major adverse side effect. Unequal brightness of slanted light, yes, this is also one of the major side effects. Picket fence problem. Now, what is picket fence problem? Picket fence problem, this issue is when alternating lines or patterns are not displayed correctly. Okay, then this problem arises. Rasterization, the process of converting vector graphs into raster images. Okay, so this is not the adverse effect. Pre-filtering and post-filtering techniques used to improve image quality. It is not associated with scanning. Okay, so your A, B, C are the major side effects of scan conversion. So option B, A, B, C only is your correct option for this particular question. Okay, your correct answer is option B. Let's move on to the next. Again, we have matched the list question. Okay, so list 1 is given, list 2 is given. Okay, we need to match the correct ones. So first, Hadoop distribution file system is related to name node in Hadoop architecture. Okay, is related to what? Name node in Hadoop architecture. Veracity is associated with trust. Trust in context of big data. Veracity refers to equality and trustworthiness of the data. Okay, so this goes with B. Apache Pig is developed by Yahoo. Apache Pig is a platform for analyzing large data set. Okay, so this goes with Yahoo. Apache Hive is developed by Facebook. And why it is used for? It is used as a data warehousing tool developed by Facebook itself for carrying and managing large data set in residing in distributed system. Okay, so your A goes for 3, right? B goes for 1, A goes for 3, B goes for 1, C goes for 4, A goes for 3, B goes for 1, C goes for 4, and D goes for 2. So your correct answer is option number C. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, next we have is identify the correct statements from the following regarding spiral model. Okay, what are the correct statements only we need to identify? Okay, so first is given is first is spiral model is an incremental process model. It is a characteristics, okay, but it is not the only characteristics, right? Next, spiral model is a risk driven process made. Yes, this is true. Next, we have spiral model is a acyclic balancing approach. Not true. D, spiral model involves a set of anchor point milestones. Okay, this is also true. Okay, so your correct answer is B and D only. That is your option number D. Spiral model is a risk driven and a spiral model involves a set of anchor point milestones. Okay, so B and D only are the right options. Okay, option number D is your correct answer. Let's move on to the next. Which of the following is not related to feed forward networks on the back propagation algorithm? Okay, so feed forward networks and the back propagation algorithm are basically used in training neural networks. Okay, so these algorithm can learn to approximate Boolean functions, okay, continuous functions, arbitrary functions, but not greedy functions. Okay, So greedy function is not related to feed forward network. Therefore, your correct answer for this particular question is option number D, that is greedy function is not related to feed forward networks. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, next we have question number 66. Which of the following statement is not true? A data member of a class can be declared as static and is normally used to maintain value across the entire class. This is true. A friend function can be invoked like a normal function without the help of any object. This is also true. The scope resolution operator can be overloaded like normal operator. False. Okay, if you have learned operator overloading, there are certain operators that we can't overload, and scope resolution operator is one of them that can't be overloaded. Next, multiple inheritance may lead to duplication of inherited member from grandparent base class. This may be avoided by making the common base class as a virtual class. This is true. Okay, so your correct answer is option number C, is not true statement. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, next what we have, which of the following table contains the primary information in the data warehousing related question it is. Which of the following table contains the primary information in the data warehouse? And this is contained by your fact table. Fact table contains the primary information in the data house. It stores the quantitative data for analysis. It usually contains foreign keys, two-dimension tables, which describes the context of the facts. Okay, so your fact table contains the primary information in your data warehouse. Okay, so option B is your right answer. Option B is your right answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Okay, question number 68. Let's see. Arrange the following steps of in-order traversal of a binary tree in the correct order. Okay, just now, few questions earlier, we have seen how to get the in-order of a binary tree. Okay, so we need to arrange the steps as well. Okay, start traversing by visiting the nodes in the rooted tree. This is the first step that you will do. Okay, start traversing by visiting the nodes in the rooted tree, starting from the top. Next, visit the left subtree. As you know, in order we visit left, then root, then right. Okay, left, then root, and then right. Okay, so this way we go. So first, so after starting the traversing by visiting the nodes in rooted tree, then we go for left subtree, then we go for root node, then we go for right subtree, and so on. We repeat these steps. Okay, so your correct pattern will be D, starting, then A, visit the left subtree, B, visit the root, C, visit the right subtree, and E, repeat the steps. D, A, B, C, E will be the pattern. Okay, so your option C is the correct answer for this particular question. That is, sorry. So yeah, so your option C will be the correct answer, that is D, A, B, C, E. Okay, so answer C is your correct answer. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, arrange the following steps of the DHCP protocol, that is dynamic host control protocol, process in correct sequence. Okay, again sequence we need to identify. Okay, what is the sequence in dynamic host control protocol? Okay, how it is performed. So first we do is DHCP discover. Second, DHCP offer request. Okay, next DHCP request. Okay, DHCP discover, then offer, then request, then pack. Then we perform what? Pack, and last client receives IP configuration. Okay, So what is the correct sequence? Correct sequence is B. DHCP first discover, then DHCP offer, C. DHCP request, D. DHCP pack, A, and then client receives your IP configuration. Okay, so this is the pattern B, C, D, A, E. That is your option number B. Okay, so option B is your right answer. Let's move on to the next. Okay, so which of the following is the correct estimation model based on the software equation? Okay, see, for software equation, this model is used to estimate the effort required for software development. Okay, when we are talking with regards to effort. Okay, so which of the following is the correct estimation model with regards to that? Okay, so your correct one is, this is you need to remember it, LOC. Okay, line of code. Okay, and your base P is there. Okay, then P stands for productivity, T represents the time. Your option B is the right answer for this particular question. Okay, so correct software estimation is based using option number B, that is your line of code in multiplied by B is to 1 by 3 by P out multiplied by 3 into 1 by T raised to 4. Okay, so option B, answer B is your correct answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, consider the following. Okay, scanning. Consider the following graph of disk scheduling. Identify the disk scheduling algorithm representing by this graph. Okay, which kind of disk scheduling algorithm is used? Okay, so the sequence given here is 84, 84, 125, 11, 36, 170, 20, 172, and 45. Let us assume the initial position of the disk arm is at, let's say, 50. Okay, so using the look algorithm, the disk arm will first service in one direction until it reaches the last request. Then it will jump to the other direction. Okay, so the right answer for this particular question is C loop, because it is serving, let's say at any point it is assuming the arm end, it will serve all the requests from that end. Okay, and later on it will jump to the other part. Okay, so C loop, option number D, is the answer for this particular question. Basically, C loop, circular loop, is a disk scheduler algorithm that is optimized version of loop algorithm. Okay, in C loop, the disk arm only goes as far as the last request in each direction. If you can see, this is going as far as in one direction as the last request. Okay, so this minimizes the movement of the disk here and there and reduces the total seek time. Okay, so option D is your right answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Okay, next 72, the Hamming distance. The Hamming distance between pattern is given 101, 10101 and 11110. Okay, what is the Hamming distance that we need to identify? Okay, so let's write first, and how it is done I will tell you. Let's write your pattern first. Okay, now what is the difference? The Hamming distance between two strings of equal length is the number of positions at which corresponding symbols are different. Meaning what? At the places where the symbols are different, that will be counted as a distance. Okay, so for practically, if we see, if we match this pattern 1 and 1, no difference. Okay, so nothing here. 0 and 1, one difference is there. 1 and 1, no difference. 0 and 1, difference. 1 and 1, sorry, 1 and 0, difference is there. So total 1, 2 and 3. So total difference will be 3. That is your option number B. Again I am repeating, the Hamming distance between two strings of equal length. sorry, the Hamming distance between the two strings of equal length is the number of positions at which the corresponding symbols are different. So in this case, at 3 places the corresponding symbols were different. So your answer is option number B, that is 3. Let's move on to the next one. Again we have matched the list. Okay, your entire paper was like this. Okay, so data manipulation language, let's go with what we know. Okay, so data manipulation language, we know it is performed by DML, is performed by SQL. So here goes the D. So you can use the elimination trick. First of all, D goes for 3, so these two gets eliminated straight away. Okay, now the last update problem, it is related to concurrency control. You can check that. Project join normal form, it is related to fifth normal form. PJNF, it is used to eliminate redundancy in relational database. Okay, and discretionary access control, it is regarding security. Okay, so from this, A goes to second, A goes to second, B goes to first, C goes to fourth, and D goes to 3. So your correct answer is option number A. Okay, sorry. Your correct answer is option number A. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Next, question number 74. The kind of symbols or basic syntactic elements of first order logic are. Okay. What are the symbols basically for first order logic? Okay. First order logic includes several basic syntax elements that are essential for its formulation, syntax formulation. And the symbols, correct symbols that are involved are constant. Okay, constant, predicate is there, then we have function, right? So these are the common, or you can see correct symbols involved in syntactic representation. Constant represents specific object in the domain of discourse. Predicate represent properties of object or relationship between the two objects, and function represent mapping from the tuple of object to objects. Okay, so these three are what basic key symbols: A, C, and E. So your option number C is the right option for this particular question. Let's move on. Again we have match the list question. Okay, so we have list one, that first BFS, DFS, prefix, infix. Okay, so BFS, we have just now seen Q. Q is related to BFS. Okay, so this goes for A. Let's try to eliminate. A goes for 4, so these two gets eliminated, right? So DFS is associated with stack. This goes for B. So I guess this gets eliminated as well. So let's check the other option. Prefix is associated with list. Okay, this goes for C, and your infix is associated with syntax tree. Okay, so A goes for 4, BFS goes for Q, DFS goes for stack, prefix goes for lips, and infix goes for syntax tree. It is related to, for infix notation is related to syntax tree. So your correct option is option number D for this particular question. Let's move on. Okay, now this you should know, protocols and their respective function. Okay, or the easiest one, at least two you should know, so that you can eliminate the others. Okay, functions. Let's see the function. A protocol that allows email clients, a protocol that allows email clients to retrieve emails from a mail server. Okay, emails, the mail server. This is done basically by what? This is done basically by, just a second. Okay, a protocol that allows you to do is post office protocol, POP. Okay, So this has been done by C. Okay, address resolution used for login. Okay, what does address resolution protocol do? An address resolution protocol maps IP address to MAC address on a local area network. So this goes for B, right? Rest you can map. Used for remove login to another computer over a network. This is done using telnet. Okay, so option D comes here, and option A is a protocol that allows accessing email on the server without downloading them is IAMP. Okay, so first let's see which pattern this goes. A goes to 3, A goes to 4, A goes to 4, so this 2 gets eliminated. Now B goes to 3, okay, both have B goes to 3. C, that is post office protocol. A is a email protocol that allows email clients to retrieve email from a mail server. Okay, so this is your right option, and this gets eliminated straight away. So option C is your right answer. Let's move on to the next. Okay, collaborative document inspection technique used for, why it is used for? Collaborative document inspection technique. You see, it is used for requirement validation process. Why it is used? It is used for requirement validation process. Okay, where the stakeholders and the team members review and discuss the requirement to ensure complete, correct, accurate, and feasible process. Okay, and this technique helps to identify any ambiguities or inconsistencies or misinformations are there in the whatever the requirement has been stated down. Okay, so it is basically comes under requirement verification process. Requirement it is under requirement validation process. Requirement verification is what? Now requirement verification is related to verify if you have properly stated or not the requirements. Integration testing, basically when we integrate the components. Okay, and black box testing, as you know. Okay, output and input based. Okay, outside we don't know the internal components. Okay, so the correct answer for this is requirement validation process. Sorry, verification, not validation process. Okay, validation, requirement validation process, where the collaborative document inspection technique is used. Okay, so your correct answer is answer A. Let's move on to the next. Okay, next we have is, if x and y are elements in group G, and if x equal to y, x raised to 5 equal to e, and y raised to 3, it is y raised to 3 equal to e, then the inverse of, it is asking the inverse of x raised to 2, yx raised to 4, and y raised to 2 must be what it must be. So first of all, we have x raised to 5 equal to e and y raised to 3 equal to e. What we can use is, okay, what we can use is what x inverse, what can be x inverse? X inverse equal can be equal to x raised to 4. Why? Because x into x raised to 4 is equal to e. Okay, you need to know this. Okay, inverse proportion. And y inverse, same, y square. Why? Because y into y square is also equal to e. Okay, why we are writing the inverses? Because we need to find the invert element. Okay, now element to invert, what are the elements to invert? These are the elements to invert. Okay, step 1, apply the inverse property. So first we will apply the inverse property. So applying inverse property to this particular function is, what we get is, okay, we are applying inverse. Okay, so what we will get is y to inverse x 4 inverse y inverse x2 inverse. Okay, we have just applied the inverse. Okay, now since y2 inverse here we have is, so we can substitute y2 inverse, we can substitute with y. Okay, x4 inverse with x and y inverse with y square and x2 inverse with x3, because here we have applied the inverses. You can calculate that. Okay, after this we will be substituting. Okay, so this yx y square x square will equal to yx y square x cube. Okay, we are substituting and simplifying. Okay, now multiplying x square yx4 y2 by yx square means we are multiplying by this. Now whatever this is, this equation we will be multiplying with this component. Okay, so we will be getting our answer that we have got. Okay, see, we have inverted this, right? So what we have got, yx y square and x cube. Check from the options, your option B is the correct answer for this particular question. Okay, the next step was to validate, but you won't be having much time to do that. Okay, so your correct answer is yx y square into x cube. Okay, that is your option, answer number B. Let's move on to the next. Okay, next is, which one of the following is not a basic solution of linear equations given below? x1 plus 2x2 plus x3 equal to 4, 2x1 plus x2 plus 5x3 equal to 5. Okay, let's evaluate each option. First of all, if we put x1 equal to, okay, let's do this, x1 plus 2x2 plus x3. Okay, let's push the first value, where first value is -1, 2 and 1. Okay, so if we do this, so -1, this becomes 4 and this becomes 1. So -1 plus 1 gets cancelled and it equals to 4, which is the correct, right? Let's put it in the equation 2 as well. Equation 2 is what? 2x1 plus 2x2, x2 plus 5x3. Okay, so if we put the values -1, 2, 1, that is from option number 1. So it becomes -2, okay, plus 2, then 5. Okay, -2 plus 2 gets cancelled and we have 5. Okay, so in the first option itself we got the answer. Okay, so this option is your option is what your correct option for this particular question. Okay, you just need to substitute and you need to check the values, okay, if it is matching or not. Okay, so option A is your correct answer. Let's move on to the next. Okay, the probability that A hits target is 1/4 and the probability that B hits target is 2/5. Okay, A probability is 1/4 of hitting the target and B probability is 2/5. Both shoot at the target. What is the probability that at least one of them hits the target? That is A or B or both hit the target. Okay, so okay, so let the probability hit the target is, okay, let probability that hit the target PA is 1/4, right, and PB is 2/5. Okay, so first of all, the total span is, okay, if you multiply this you get 20 base. Okay, so first two options are wrong first of all, and you need to go with P of A or B formula. Okay, once you apply that, you will be getting 11 by 20 as an answer. Okay, so your correct answer will be option number D, that is 11 by 20. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Okay, the following, which of the following represents the output of transition function given below? Okay, Q0 we have A, that is Q1 XR, Q1 comma A, Q1 A comma R, Q1 Y is Q1 by R, Q1 B is Q2 YL, Q2 Y is Q2 YL, Q2 A is Q2 AL, Q2 X is Q0 XR, Q0 Y is Q3 YR, and Q3 Y is Q3 YR, and we have last, okay, Q3 QF all and R. Okay, so first is this Turing machine recognizes the language, that is A raised to n, B raised to n, and greater than equal to 1. Which one? That is your option number B. Now why it is so? Because it accepts the string which has the equal number of A's is equal to the equal number of B's, and there is at least one A or B present. Okay, so if we see the options one by one, okay, when first one, when in state Q0 and reading A, it replaces A with X and moves right, transitioning to state Q1. Okay, next, when it is in state Q1 reading A, it keeps A and moves right, staying in state Q1. Next, we have when in state Q1 and reading Y, it keeps Y and moves right, staying in state Q1. Again, this one, when in state Q1 and reading B, it replaces B with Y and moves left, transitioning to state Q2. Next, QYL, when in state Q2 and reading Y, it keeps Y and moves left, staying in Q2 state. Okay, and so on we are repeating. Okay, so your correct answer for this particular question is option number B. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Okay, next is, given the following processes with their times and priority, lower number indicates higher priority. Okay, so meaning 1 indicates the high priority. Okay, so lower number indicates the high priority processes, and burst time and priorities are given. Which of the following is the value of average waiting time using priority schedule algorithm? Okay, priority schedule algorithm is non-preemptive. First of all, the process with highest priority, that is the lowest numeric value, is scheduled first. So P2 will be scheduled first. Okay, and then accordingly with the basis of priority. If two processes have the same priority, FCFS will be used. Okay, now what is the formula? So TAT is equal to CT minus AT. Okay, then we have arrival waiting time equal to TAT minus VT. Okay, arrival time, let us assume to be 0 for all the process. So how will be the Gantt chart? First process that will be process is P2 because priority is 1, then P5, then P1, then P3, then P4. Okay, now you need to consider the burst time as well. Okay, let's prepare this CAT and TAT chart here itself. CAT, okay, let me erase something. Okay, okay, CAT, then we have TAT, and then WT. Okay, so for this CAT will be 1, 1 0. This will be 9 9 1 19 19 9 21 21 19 22 22 21. Okay, so let's calculate the average waiting time. So average waiting time will be the average of this particular sequence. Okay, that is 0 1 9 99 21. Okay, so 0 plus 1 plus 9 plus 19 plus 21 divided by 5. Okay, so it will give you 50 by 5. So average waiting time will be 10 units. Okay, that is your option number D. So your correct answer will be option number D, that is 10 units. Let's move on to the next. The degree of relation in a database is the number of tuples in a relation, the number of attributes in a relation, the number of values in a domain, or the number of keys in a relation. The correct answer is the number of attributes in a relation is the degree of relation in a database. Okay, so your correct answer is option number B. Let's move on to the next one. Which one of the following are correct for neural network? Okay, from the following statement, which one are the correct? The training time depends upon the size of the network. This is correct. Neural network can be simulated on a conventional computer. Wrong. Neural network mimic the same as that of human brain. Correct. A neural network include feedback. Correct. So your correct options are A, C, and D. So your correct option is option B is your right answer. That is A, C, and D. That is option B is your right option for this particular question. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, next we have which of the following is the complement of the Boolean function a dash b plus c d dash plus a dash b plus c d dash. Okay, so let's see the solution. Okay, a dash b plus a dash b will be equal to a dash b, redundant form. Again, c dash c d dash plus c d dash will be equal to c d dash. Okay, so simplified form is a dash b plus c d dash is the simplified form for this particular equation. Okay, so now since we need to find the complement for this, that is the complement for this, so what we will be having, so this sum becomes the product. So a dash b complement into product of c d dash complement. Okay, so if we say this, we can a dash b complement will be equal to a plus b dash and c d dash complement will be equal to c dash plus d plus d. So your correct answer for this particular question will be option number C, answer C, that is a plus b dash into c dash plus d. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, which of the following are the key features of mobile ad hoc network, that is MANETs? Okay, so what are the key features? Self-organized and decentralized. Yes, it is the correct one of the features of MANET. High mobility of nodes. Yes, this is also one of the features. Requires fixed infrastructure for operation. No, this is not a characteristic. Network topology is dynamically and constant changing. Yes, this is right. It requires a central controller to manage the traffic. No, wrong. So your A, B, and D the right option for this, that is your option number C. A, B, D, that is your option number C is the right answer for this particular question. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, choose the correct statements from the following. Okay, in a connection oriented service, the destination address is to be specified only during the setup. Yes, this is right. We need to specify the destination address first of all. Packet sequencing is not guaranteed in connection oriented service. False. This is false. Statement B is false. Packet sequencing is connection oriented services such as TCP oriented protocol guarantee packet sequencing is done. Okay, ensuring packets are delivered in correct order. Flooding. Next, flooding is method in which every incoming packet is sent out on every outgoing line except the one by which it arrived. Okay, this is also a correct statement. Presentation layer performs detection and recovery from errors in the transmitted data. No, wrong. This statement is incorrect. Error detection and recovery are handled by transport layer, not the presentation layer. Okay, so your correct options are A and C only. That is your option number C. So option C is your right answer. Let's move on to the next one. Again, we have list matching. So type 0 grammar basically we use for what? Recursively enumerable. So this is your option A. Okay, so A goes for 4, so this 2 gets eliminated straight away. Next, type 1 grammar is used here. Okay, x implies y. Okay, where x is less than y and x and y belongs to the set. Okay, so this goes for B. Okay, now next, okay, did we make okay, so wait, A goes for 4, so this remains, right? So we have marked wrong here. Okay, so first 2 will be eliminated. First 2 will be eliminated because, and this also, let's check this one. So A goes for 4, that is type 0 grammar recursively enumerable. Type 1 grammar, okay, goes to third option. Type 2 grammar goes for GNF. Now what is GNF? GNF is basically your graphic normal form. Okay, so this goes for C. And last, type 3 grammar goes for your linear grammar. Okay, this goes for D. So this is the correct option, that is option number D. Type 0 grammar recursively enumerable, B3 type 2 GNF, and type 3 linear grammar, or you can say regular grammar. So option D is your right option. Let's move on. Which of the following graph is our planar? Okay, first of all, what is a planar graph? A planar graph is that can be embedded in the plane. It can be drawn in a plane such a way that edges intersect only at endpoints. Okay, only at endpoints. Okay, so from these two graphs, if you closely observe, graphs A and B are determined to be planar by verifying that they can be drawn without any edge crossing. Okay, without any edge crossing. So your A graph and B graphs are planar. Your graph C is not planar because it contains a subgraph where that is homographic K5 and K3, which means it cannot be drawn without crossing the edges. Okay, so this is not planar. So A and B only, that is your option D. These two graphs are planar graphs. Okay, so your option D is your right answer. Let's move on to the next one. As per the Software Engineering Institute, SEI, the correct sequence is, okay, we need to tell what is the correct sequence. Okay, so correct sequence is initialization, that is initial Second is repeatable. Next is defined, then managed, then optimized. So your correct form is A, initial, then B, repeatable, E, defined, C, managed, and D, optimizing. A, B, E, C, D is your correct form. That is your option number B is your correct answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Okay, now we have question regarding DFA. Okay, a machine. Okay, now question number 91 to 95 are with respect to this question only. Okay, a machine is represented by states Q, input alphabet, transition state function, okay, initial state Q0 and final state F. The machine accepts all the strings over A and B which starts and ended with any combination of all alphabet. ABB works lies in all the string to be accepted. Okay, from this the first question is, for the above specified passage, which of the following is DFA for the language represented by machine? Okay, what it is asking, which of the following, okay, following four options, what is the DFA accepted by the machine? Okay, let's see that. So option, let's see first option. In option first, if you see this DFA, okay, this DFA starts with 1, okay, looping on A and B, then A, 1 goes to A, then to 2, 2 to B, B to 3, 3 to B, and then 4. After reaching 4, it loops and A and B and accepts. Looks promising, but lack the rejection for incorrect sequence like ABAB. It accepts too many parameters and has no trap state. Okay, so to reject combination. So this is incorrect. Next, if we see this DFA takes A to B, B to A as a final structure, but this structure also doesn't track ABB correctly. So this is also incorrect. If you see the third option, this DFA clearly implements the pattern required. Okay, Q1 that is A to Q2, QB that is B to Q3 and final. Okay, Q4 is accepting the state, right? And other transition as well. So option 3 is the correct answer. Okay, since we have found the correct answer, so we can eliminate this as well. So your option C is your correct answer for this particular question. Okay, let's move on to the next. Now, for the specified passage, same, which of the following represents the regular expression? Okay, for specified regular expression, what is the which represents the following regular expression? Okay, since ABAB is the pattern, ABB is the pattern, if you can see the sequence out of this, only your option D satisfies it. Okay, so your correct answer straight away you can mark as option number D. Okay, for this particular question. Let's move on to the next. Yeah, so what it is stating, for the above mentioned passage, which of the following is correct? Okay, so again the state first, again it is A to B, then directly to the final state. Incorrect, and it is not able to verify the intermediate characters. So this is wrong. Next, accept string only if they end with ABB. Okay, anywhere. So this is also incorrect. The DFA clearly detects this one, detects again ABB. So this is our right answer, that is option number C. So answer C is your correct answer for this particular question. Next, which for the above specified passage, which of the following represent the grammar for the language accepted by the machine? Okay, now we need to tell the grammar accepted. So since we need to follow the pattern that is ABB, A, and it can be belong to anyone. If you see here, sorry, if you see here, Here the pattern, it is saying what? Option C, if you see, strings, all strings that are belong to ABV pattern, inclusive of what? The string where the string lies. Okay, it can lie anywhere. Okay, so your option C is your correct answer for this particular question, that is the grammar accepted for the language, grammar for the language accepted by the machine. Okay, next. Okay, which of the following represent the minimum state DFA for the above passage? Okay, minimum state DFA, if you go one by one, to detect AB, we need at least 4 state. Okay, Q0, let's say Q0 is a start state. Then after seeing A, after seeing AB, after seeing ABB, okay, so this is the accepted state. Okay, this DFA is accepted. Here only 2 states are there. Okay, so here only 2 states are there, so it is incorrect. Again, once we have find the correct one, others can be eliminated right straight away. So your correct answer for this particular question is the option number A, that has minimum 4 states and one with at least 5 state at the transition. Okay. Okay, let's start with the question number 96. What we have, consider the following set of processes with arrival time and length of CPU burst time given in milliseconds. Okay, so find the weighted average weighted turnaround time for these processes using highest response ratio next HRNN algorithm. Okay, so first of all, what is HRN algorithm? It is what? It is a non-preemptive scheduling algorithm where the process with the highest response ratio is selected next. Now, how to calculate the response ratio? Okay, so there is a formula for this. Response ratio is equal to waiting time plus burst time divided by burst time. Okay, so this is the formula. Next, what basic formula that we know, turnaround time is what? Turnaround time is equal to completion time minus arrival time. And lastly, what we have, weighted turnaround time is what? Turnaround time divided by burst time, right? This we know. Okay, so let me arrange the table as per the highest response ratio of the process. Okay, so first the process that will come is P1, then P3 as per the HRN ratio. Okay, response ratio. P1, P3, P2, P4 and P5. Okay, you can calculate with respect to this formula. Weighted time, okay, waiting time plus burst time divided by burst time. Okay, so let's calculate the other parameters. AT, then we have burst time, then we have the completion time, then we have TAT, turnaround time, and then we will be having weighted turnaround time, right? Okay, so arrival time is 0, process 1, burst time 5, arrival time 2, for process 3, burst time 2, arrival time 2, burst time 3, arrival time 5, burst time 3, and arrival time for process 5 is 6 and burst time is 1. Completion time for this, minus burst time minus arrival time, that is 5. Okay, 5 plus 2 7, 7 plus 3 10, 10 plus 3 13, 13 plus 1 14. Okay, turnaround time CT minus 80, right? So 5 minus 0 5, 7 minus 2 5, 10 minus 2 8, 13 minus 5 8, and 14 minus 6 8. Weighted turnaround time 5 divided by 5 1. Okay, then we have 5 divided by 2 2.5, 8 divided by 3 2.6 7, 8 divided by 3 2.67, and 8 divided by 6 8 divided by 1 is 8. Okay, if you calculate the average, what average you will be getting is 2.834. That is your option number B is your correct answer for this particular question. That is question number 96. Okay, average weighted turnaround time in regards to highest response ratio. Next algorithm, that is option number B, 2.834 milliseconds. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Option B is the right answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay. What is the average weighted turnaround time for this process with first come first service scheduling algorithm? Okay. So question number 97, first come first serve service. So we are starting with directly with process P1. Okay. Then P2, then P3, then P4, then P5, right? So here will be 0 to 5 to 8 to 10 to 13 and then 14, right? Completion and this time. Okay, let's calculate arrival time and burst time is there. Let's calculate the CT and TAT, turnaround time. Okay, because we need to calculate average turnaround time. So completion time here is 5, here is 8, 10, 13 and 14, okay, respectively. Now turnaround time is 5 minus 0, 5, say 8 minus 2, 6, then 8, 10 minus 2, 8, 13 minus 5, 8, 14 minus 6, 8. If we calculate the average, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 divided by 5, 8 divided by 5. So you will be getting 7 milliseconds. So your option number C is right for question number 97. 7 milliseconds will be the average turnaround time for this process with FCFS scheduling algorithm. Let's move on to the next. Option C is your right answer. Okay, next, what is the average waiting time for these processes with non-preemptive short SGF scheduling algorithm? Okay, so with non-preemptive SGF, what will be the approach? Okay, let's first see with non-preemptive what will the process sequence. The process sequence will be P1, P3, P5, P2 and P4. Okay, shortage of first, right? So we have arranged it. Shortage as okay, so P1, then P3, then P5, then P2, then P4. Okay, let's calculate the AT, arrival time, burst time, CT, completion time, turnaround time, and waiting time. Okay, because we need to calculate average waiting time. Okay, so arrival time is for P1 is 0, burst time is 5, P3 is 2, burst time is 2, P5 is 6, and burst time is 1. P2 is 2, burst time is 3, and P4 is 5, burst time is 3. Completion time 5, 7, 8, 11, okay, accordingly 14. Turnaround time will be 5, 5, you can minus it, 5, 2, 9 and 9. Waiting time is basically what? Turnaround time minus burst time. Okay, so you can calculate like this 0. Okay, 5 minus 5, 0. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, 2 minus 1 is 1. 9 minus 3 is 6, and again it is 6. So if we calculate the average, 0 plus 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 6, 10. 10 plus 6, right? So this, if you divide, you will be getting the answer as 3.2 milliseconds. Okay, which is your option number 4. Option number D is your right answer. That is 3.2 milliseconds will be your average waiting time. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, when we apply shortage of SGF scheduling policy or algorithm, process P2 faces partial starvation and waits for longer time to execute. Which one of the following algorithms addresses this problem? So for addressing the starvation, we have something known as highest response ratio next algorithm. Just now we have seen. Okay, so highest response ratio next algorithm addresses the starvation by considering waiting time of the processes. Okay, it calculates the response ratio for each process using the formula response ratio equal to waiting time plus burst time divided by burst time. Okay, the process with the highest response ratio is selected for execution. Okay, so this by considering waiting time and burst time, HRRN algorithm balances the need of both short and long processes, mitigating the risk of starvation. Okay, so your correct answer for this particular question will be option number C, that is highest response ratio next. Okay, let's move to the last question of the session. Okay, what we have, calculate the average response time for these processes with a non-preemptive priority scheduling algorithm. Priority of the processes are as follows, and consider that all the processes came at 0. Note low number represents high priority. Okay, so this is our table. Okay, follow the second table, right? Process P1, arrival time 5, burst time 3. Okay, considering all the process came at 0, let's start with it. Okay, so we are starting with what? We are starting with process P5 first. Okay, because P5 has what? P5 arrival time is 1. Okay, so we will be starting with that first. Okay, so let's start. P5 is given. Okay, so since arrival time, okay, arrival time is considered for 0 for every processes. So let's change based on this. So process P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. Okay, priority is given. Let me write the priority first. 5, 3, 2, 3, 1. Okay, this is the priority that we are getting. Okay, note down low number represents high priority. Okay, so what will be the arrival time? Arrival time is given as 0 for all. Okay, we need to consider 0 for all the cases. Okay, so what will be the burst time? Burst time is also given 3, 1, 5, 4 and 2 is the burst time. Start time is what? Start time is 12, 7, if you go diagrammatically, 2, 8 and 0. This is the start time. So what will be the completion time? Okay, completion time is what? Start time and the total burst time that has been taken. Okay, ST, that is starting time plus burst time. So 3 plus 12 is 15, 1 plus 7 is 8, 5 plus 2 is 7, 4 plus 8 is 12 and 0 plus 2 is 2. Okay, if we make the average of this, what it is saying, 15 plus 8 plus 7 plus 12 plus 2 divided by 5, that is nothing but 5.8, that is milliseconds. That is the option number A. So your correct answer for this particular question is answer number A, 5.8 millisecond. Okay. Okay, students, with this, we complete our UGC NET December 2024 Computer Science Paper 2 solutions starting from question number 1 to question number 100. Hope you have liked this detailed explanation of this particular paper. Do not forget to like and share this particular video, and also do not forget to subscribe to Instant Seekh. More such PYQs regarding UGC NET and SET examination will be uploaded soon on the channel. So by the time, do like, share and subscribe the channel. Jai Hind. Thank you.